Well, this book, Fantastic Mr. Fox, was one of my favorites as a child, and it was the first Roald Dahl book I read, and I became he became my favorite, and at a certain point, about 10 years ago, I had this idea that I'd like to do a stop-motion film. And as soon as I had that thought, I'd like to do a stop-motion film with puppets with fur. And this book seemed like the perfect one. I actually don't know if I first had the idea to do stop-motion or first Mr. Fox, but sort of together I had those two ideas. And I started pursuing it at that point.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
Comme ci, comme ça.
We sort of thought of our main character as being Roald Dahl, Mr. Fox. Like not just that he was based on the character he'd written in the book, but that it was sort of based on him. I don't really know where we specifically made an effort to do that, but it was just what we were always talking about. So I feel like he's in it.
I think I have this thing where I need everybody to think I'm the greatest, the quote-unquote fantastic Mr. Fox. And if they aren't completely knocked out and dazzled and kind of intimidated by me, then I don't feel good about myself.
There's something about stop motion where you sort of can sense what the technique is. It's not the sort of thing where it's a completely where the illusion is so seamless that you're unaware of it. Instead, you can kind of sense that these are miniature, puppets, and that someone's moving them with their hands, and that there's, you're aware that there's a three-dimensional physical set, that somebody's manipulating them, and that it's all kind of artificial. But it's all tactile.
He eats 3 chickens every day for breakfast, lunch, supper, and dessert. That's 12 in total per diem.
A day of working on the film really consisted of bouncing back and forth among all these different units and all the things being designed, and working on the editing at the same time, because you're editing the storyboards and working on the story itself, even as you're shooting these other shots. So there's so many things to do at once that it was still very engaging and, in fact, completely overwhelming.
Center tagger lights a pine cone, chucks it over the basket, and the whack batter tries to hit the cedar stick off the cross rock. Then the twig runners dash back and forth until the pine cone burns out and the umpire calls hot box. Finally, at the end, you count up however many score downs it adds up to and divide that by 9.
It's one of the few cases where the experience of the movie is maybe enhanced by seeing how it's done, by really understanding it fully. It only helps. Usually, it might undermine the special effect a bit if you know the trick. But with this, knowing the trick is part of the fun of it, I guess.
Come on.
Wait a second. What's this thing you do, the whistle with the clicking sound?
What do you mean? That's my trademark.